let's start off with the flow of funds from Europe to its member states and how they can work. I mean, I think it's extraordinary what Europe innovated with the RRF, so few years ago. It's been transformative, I think, for many countries, new entrants and old in Europe. Romania not least among them. Minister, how do you ensure that those funds coming in from the EU are well used in the sense that they give the best payback possible in Romania, but also that they work for the EU?
Mm-hmm. So first of all, thank you very much for having me, and I would like to greet these amazing colleagues, friends, and audience. I had some very interesting discussion even beforehand, and always the hallway discussions are even better than the panels. But I would like to highlight the fact that the best proof of the fact that the money, the European money, are really meaningful for Romania's development is to look at figures. 2007, Romania was 44% of the European EU average purchasing power standard, 44. Today, we are at 80. So if we leave Ireland aside, because there you have the US assets, and that's actually, skewed because of that, Romania is the most successful country that has actually, in terms of convergence, of course, GDP-wise, you may talk about polarization and so on, but we are a textbook manual of how, by using EU funds, more than 108 billion euro received, we've actually managed the impossible, 44 to 80. And it's very important to understand, in terms of speed and catching up, we are far beyond, Poland or the others in the area. And this is really relevant, to prove the fact that while you use EU funds, you can actually get this kind of results. Second, I believe that if we look at Romania's accession so far, we have, we are past maturity, 18 years old, we're in university last year, 19 this year. The point is that after we entered the Union, we were a little bit more relaxed, and we relied heavily on the consumption-led model where, consumption helped a lot of the growth that happened. And then, of course, this was not necessarily without imbalances, but the whole point is that right now we are in a very crucial moment of shifting the economic model. So we shift from consumption to investment. And where we are right now, we are on an investment that relies primarily on public investment. And this is shown the fact that we are finally finalizing the highways, finally finalizing the railway system, finally modernizing the sewage, water systems, and so on. And this is happening right now. So this is a living proof that we do deal with basic infrastructure. But just to connect a little bit with the future, because it's very important. Our ambition, especially for the 2028, 2034, and this is my main message to all the business partners here or from all the neighboring countries in the area, and it's so nice that the economist has brought them all here. Our message is that we will shift from focusing more on public investment to focusing on leveraging private investment. And how we'll do that, and that's the theme of the panel, and I'm really delighted to be here among really amazing finance professionals, is by using financial institutions, using financial instruments, and leveraging. And the whole point is how to shift from a reality where you get €1 and then you spend €1 and then 80% goes to the public sector and only 20% to the private sector, to a reality where at least 1/3, if not more, is actually done by the private sector, leverage on that. And I can give you another number that is really relevant. You mentioned the recovery and resilience. There we have actually tried to push for financial instruments, and we invested 400 million through the EIF into equity funds. So the news that I'm having for you is that the multiple of that money that we already have is 5.8. So we managed to get 2.3 billion invested out of 400 that were put through the RRF in the equity market. And this is the kind of leverage that we would like. That's why the new kid in town, the Bank of Investment and Development, is so crucial, and it is a creation of the RRP. So institutionally, right now, we are on the last stage of doing the pillar assessment, and we are waiting to have in May fully pillar assessed so that we can heavily rely in the present, because we are developing right now quite a few instruments, and in the future on that. My last remark for the intro perspective. Romania right now, it is indeed in a period, and you have heard the Minister of Finance, where we are actually doing at the same time, of course, the budgetary and fiscal adjustment, but then focusing on investment, as I mentioned. But it's so important that this year is the year of the RRP, of the Recovery and Resilience Program, and then next year we have at least 7-8 billion that will be spent on cohesion. And by the way, again, figures, Romania is number 8 in terms of payments, or absorption, effective absorption, and number 2 in terms of the amounts. So we already spent 9 billion on cohesion, which is really amazing. So right now, cohesion is going well as well, and in 2027 will be the year of cohesion in Romania. And then 2028 kicks in, and we have this particular perspective that is so important for predictability and for the future. So the whole point is that the government, and especially my ministry, is becoming more and more a partner of the financial institution, of leveraging. We would like to have SMEs not going to the ministry anymore, but going to the financial intermediaries, to the banks, to the equity funds. And by doing that, we are envisaging, just to understand the order of magnitude, 60-70 billion euros that will be mobilized through financial markets, through strategic projects for the period 2028-2034. So I really would like to invite everyone to join in this particular vision to leverage, to increase the sophistication, the ambition that we have on financial instruments and financial institutions. And this is completely in line with Enrico Letta's report on the single market, with the Savings and Investment Union and everything. And then, of course, with Draghi report that says we need to push more money into private sector competitiveness and this particular agenda. And this is the only way we can actually breach the middle income trap that, of course, is right now felt by Romania and by some other neighboring countries as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that.